It may be too hot to race, but it's never too hot to watch the news right here, right now. Greetings Rommies and welcome to RomRom.net, the channel sharing the joy of sim racing, and to our regular news roundup. Welcome to the channel, thanks for stopping by. My name is Serta and I will be your host for this video. If you have any news for us, send us a mail to news@romrom.net. This news edition is dedicated to somebody who, together with three pals, revolutionized music at so many levels. It's just insane. Production, composition, musicianship, you name it. Go and read up on what Sir Paul McCartney and the Beatles did for and to music in just one decade. Happy belated birthday, sir. Many news about upcoming games, DLCs and updates this week, and of course the big summer update of Beam.NG. And if you are interested in racing in an Automobilista 2 league, come to our Discord, as our pals at Just Race are planning just that. Everything is still early days, but if they are behind it, it promises to be interesting, fun, and maybe add some surprises. Those familiar with Euro Truck Simulator 2 surely know at least of the existence of the Krone Trailers DLC. For those who don't know, Krone is a German manufacturer who, amongst others, makes trailers for use in trucking. If you get the Krone DLC, you will be able to buy and use official Krone trailers within Euro Truck Simulator 2. Well, their digital in-game version is what we mean. SCS have gone and made the DLC more interesting to those maybe inclined to buy it by updating the content with two new trailers, the Profi Liner Building Trailer and the Paper Liner Trailer. Of course, with all the accessories for you to spend your hard-earned in-game money on. But as the team of SCS was able not only to visit one of Krone's factories but also to scan it with a drone, you can now visit the factory in-game and take contracts to and from the factory. All these of course only if you own or buy the DLC. Those who already have the DLC will get these updates with no added cost. At the moment you can get the DLC for €2 USD. Krone released a trailer this week, as well as information about the newest DLC for Assetto Corsa Competizione. It's going to bring 3 tracks from the USA, Circuit of the Americas, Watkins Glen and Indianapolis. This is all very strange, as not only are they by far not all of the SRO America tracks, this seems to be based on the 2021 SRO America schedule for whatever reason. Do Kunos know what year we're at right now? So the official SRO Fanatic whatever sim brings some of the official SRO America tracks based on the 2021 SRO and leaves out such great tracks as Road America, Virginia and Sonoma. This is all very strange, and we can only assume they don't have the licenses for the rest, but have already laser scanned these 3 tracks and now are trying to recoup the money. If somebody has a better explanation, we're all ears. Oh yeah, and the DLC will for now only appear on PC. Console sim racers will have to wait until a non-disclosed later date. And calling it the land of the free DLC will always bring us memories of Rage Against the Machine. Auto Rally got an update, bringing an update of its Unity engine, collision and other fixes, and fixing an issue on heavens, Kvankjosen, I hope I said that right, where cars could get stuck. Other issues fixed involved a memory leak when switching custom liveries often, car damage persisting between game modes, or having 2 player cars span on the start of a stage, or only one, but in the air. A link to the detailed list of fixes is as always in the description of the video. By popular demand, we suppose, Redout 2 was released on Thursday. For €30 you can get the standard edition, the deluxe edition with a season's pass for 2 DLCs promised for the game, costing a little over €45. That's how much it costs you to race futuristic landscapes in anti-grav vehicles. A new version of Forza Motorsport has been announced with of course a cool video with quite unrealistic physics, I must say. say, for beginning of next year. And we're sure it will be better, nicer, more fantastic and whatever marketing throws in our direction. Added to the returning tracks of Maple Valley, Spa and Laguna Seca will be Kyalami, a track we really like a lot, see the link up there, but also almost all of our Automobilista 2 mods test, so it's good more people learn about it. Also, they've designed a track set in Japan they call Circuit Hakone. It's funny that their marketing blathers around about track surface temperatures, track rubbering and so on as if the physics would be realistic enough, but whatever, it's marketing. If you believe it, you got another thing coming. I mean, say it's a fun racing game where we've toned down the physics so you have fun. That's okay. Different strokes for different folks. Don't oversell it. The Arc Fleet ship B cannot be built soon enough. By the way, the images in the trailer were recorded on a PC, not an Xbox. In any case, we're sure it's going to be quite the racing experience, Forza being one of the flagships of Microsoft consoles. NHRA Speed for All is the name of a game concentrated around the world of drag racing, featuring 5 NHRA vehicle classes, 38 official NHRA drivers, real-world tracks and split-screen multiplayer for those on console. This game will eat up your bank account like a drag car eats up tires at the sound of €50 for the standard edition, €60 for the deluxe edition with cosmetic add-ons, and €80 for the Ultimate Edition with even more cosmetic add-ons. It will be available for PC and consoles at the end of August. If you like this video and are a fan, become a patron. Let us spread our wings. Amongst other perks, it will fix your name for posterity like this. A big thank you to our patrons. If you come here regularly, please consider subscribing. We said last week that a Beam.NG update was surely about to drop, and guess what? It did this week. Beam.NG 0.25.1, yeah, they got a hotfix soon after the update, is here, bringing amongst other things the Civetta Scintilla, a metal engine car with either a V10 or a V8 motor, a racing dashboard and a dizzying amount of variants, including an off-road one. The Bruckle Bastion and the Cherrier FCV got updates and bug fixes, as did the ETK800 series, the Gavril H series, the Hirochi SPR4 and the Soliad Wendover. The level of detail in the graphics was upgraded once again, this time concentrated strongly on light and lighting, reflections, etc. With regards to levels, there's now a garage and tracks like East Coast USA, ETK Driver Experience Center, Gridmap V2 and many more, so fixes, graphic updates, and in many of them you now can have gated roads for racetracks. And yes, the PBR changes we already have been seeing in some of the tracks have been expanded to almost all of the tracks. The only ones still pending are Italy, West Coast and Automation. The team has also added new missions to the game, where you can now race the AI, destroy targets with the old cannon, crawl through terrain with a time limit, or deliver stuff from garage to garage. An interesting one is the hypermiling mission, where you have to drive as far as you can, but your fuel is very limited. The knockaway scenario has been converted into a mission and has been expanded to many maps. And if you are in the Utah map, you can crash land in specific areas for the highest score in the target jump mission. Also, you can now drive the delivery mission, drift mission and drag mission on many more maps. With regards to the mission system, the developers have added a progression system, with mod makers being able to decide which stats are saved and how they are saved for the next mission, being able to see the best results on a map before you start a mission. Also, the mission editor saw some updates that make it easier to use. Going back to cars, but this time in general, in Beam.NG you can now control and change the all-wheel drive settings, the differential control as well as the aero control. The activity tracking of the car electronics has been made more granular, the wheel slip calculation has been improved, and the acceleration noise has been toned down to reality. If you're using a gamepad or the keyboards to play Beam.NG, there's now an oversteer reduction assistant that will countersteer automatically, and of course only up to a point, when you start sliding. Also, other improvements have been added for gamepads and PlayStation controllers, while the force feedback saw improvements in quality and the speed of the response to inputs and info from the game. Mod makers can add default controller bindings to their mods. For you as a player, there's also some nifty controller settings, like changing the time of the day through a keyboard stroke combination, toggle traffic, toggle autonomous driving, or deflate random tire, which does what it says. It punctures one of your tires at random. Press multiple times to find yourself with all tires gone. Of course, it would not be Beam.NG if the physics did not get some updates, although the list this time is shorter than we expected, with lateral tire slip coefficient added, as well as aerodynamic skin drag, rebound speed of suspensions, calculation of the internal stress of bounded beams, and the velocity of a node as calculations the game does and you can access when building a mod of any kind. As the developers say, most of the traffic system has been rewritten, also because you can now give different vehicles different roles like police or service. There's also been a ton of detailed improvements done to the AI, which you can read up, like the rest of the details, following the link in the description. The game engine per se also got incredibly detailed updates, including native Linux binaries using the new Vulkan render backend. And then there's sound improvements like adding pedestrian warning sounds to electric vehicles, sounds for nitrous oxide injection, wing doors, and again, very detailed changes of the smallest of things you can do to sounds within this game. We mean it. Things like added metal squeal one-shots show the level this studio is willing to go. They're like Razer, only with updates every half year. Together with a dedicated UI for the new garage mode, there's also, of course, tons of details that have been changed to the UI, like a better G-Forces app or a better steering UI app that now includes showing the amount of force feedback applied, by which we suppose the developers mean the centering force of the wheelbase. If you use a Steam Deck, Beam.NG will recognize it and hopefully support it fully. Cameras, replays, and the world editor got extensive and detailed updates, as did the Lua engine. Wait, Beam.NG uses Lua? Huh, I didn't know that. And yes, the developers have kept busy fixing and adding details most of us won't really notice, but will feel in the way Beam.NG behaves from now on. And in this heat, stay inside and keep yourself busy with our videos. Check the playlist to the left or the video to the right. Until next time, save fuel, collect pickup, and we'll see each other on the podium.